A 200-kilogram mountain gorilla just stepped into the Sahara Desert. Temperature, 50 degrees Celsius. Humidity, 5%. It has 4 days to live, not weeks, not months, 4 days. I tracked every biological system as one of Earth's most intelligent primates faces the deadliest environment on the planet. What kills it isn't what you think. This is Habitat X. To understand how this gorilla dies, we need to understand what makes it built for mountains, not deserts. The mountain gorilla evolved in the Virunga Mountains of Central Africa. Dense cloud forests, temperatures between 8 and 15 degrees Celsius, humidity averaging 80%, constant mist and rain. To survive that, evolution built a cold weather specialist. Dense black fur, longer and thicker than lowland gorillas. This fur traps a layer of warm air against the skin, insulating the body from mountain cold and wind. A diet that is 99% vegetation. Leaves, stems, bamboo shoots. High water content. A mountain gorilla never drinks water directly. It gets 100% of its hydration from the plants it eats. A massive body that generates significant metabolic heat. At 200 kilograms, the gorilla produces approximately 8,000 kilojoules of heat per day, just maintaining basic functions. In the cold, wet mountains, this is perfect. In the Sahara, every one of these adaptations becomes a mechanism of death. Day 1, 6 a.m. Sahara temperature, 38 degrees Celsius. The gorilla takes its first steps on desert sand. The thermal crisis begins within minutes. That dense black fur designed to trap warmth? In the Sahara sun, black fur absorbs 90% of solar radiation. The fur that kept the gorilla warm at 8 degrees now traps heat at 50 degrees. The gorilla has no ability to shed this fur. No seasonal molting. The coat is permanent. Within the first hour, the gorilla's core temperature rises from 37 degrees to 38.2 degrees. Normal body temperature, 37 degrees. Heat exhaustion threshold, 39 degrees. Heat stroke threshold, 40 degrees. The gorilla has already burned through 60% of its thermal safety margin in 60 minutes. But overheating is not what kills it first. Something more immediate is already failing. Water. A mountain gorilla consumes approximately 15 kilograms of vegetation per day. That vegetation contains 80 to 90% water by weight. 15 kilograms of leaves equals 12 to 13 liters of water consumed per day. The gorilla never evolved the instinct to seek standing water. It never needed to. In the Sahara, there is zero vegetation, zero water. The gorilla does not know how to find water. It does not know to dig. It does not know to follow animal tracks to hidden oases. Its evolutionary programming does not include water-seeking behavior. The gorilla begins dehydrating immediately. By hour 6, 12 p.m., the gorilla has lost 2 liters of water through respiration and skin evaporation. At 200 kilograms body weight, the gorilla has approximately 120 liters of total body water. It has lost 1.6% in 6 hours. Clinical dehydration begins at 3%. The gorilla will cross that threshold in another 6 hours. By midnight, day 1, the gorilla is clinically dehydrated. But the sun has set. Temperature drops to 10 degrees Celsius. The same thick fur that trapped heat during the day now traps cold at night. The gorilla, already weakened, begins to shiver. Shivering burns calories. Calories require water to metabolize. The gorilla is now losing water even faster at night than during the day. Day 2, 6 a.m. Temperature, 40 degrees Celsius. Core body temperature, 38.8 degrees. The gorilla is 0.2 degrees from heat exhaustion. The cardiovascular system is in crisis. Dehydration causes blood to thicken. Thicker blood requires more force to pump. The heart is working at 140% normal capacity. Heart rate at rest in the mountains, 60 beats per minute. Heart rate now, 95 beats per minute. The heart is burning through energy reserves that cannot be replaced. There is no food, there is no water. The gorilla is cannibalizing its own muscle tissue to generate glucose for the brain and heart. By noon, day 2, the gorilla has lost 6 liters of water, 5% of total body water. Severe dehydration threshold, 10%. The gorilla is halfway to organ failure. But something else is happening. The brain is beginning to malfunction. Dehydration affects the brain before any other organ. The human brain is 75% water. The gorilla brain is similar. At 5% dehydration, cognitive function drops by 20%. The gorilla is no longer thinking clearly. It is disoriented, confused. In the mountains, a gorilla navigates by memory and landmarks, trees, rock formations, water sources. In the Sahara, there are no landmarks, just sand, endless sand. The gorilla begins walking in circles. This is not a conscious choice. The brain's spatial processing is degrading. The gorilla is lost in an environment with no reference points and no survival instincts for this terrain. Day 3, 6 a.m. Temperature, 48 degrees Celsius. Core body temperature, 39.4 degrees. Heat exhaustion. The gorilla collapses. At 39 degrees, the body's cooling mechanisms begin to fail. Sweating stops. The body has no water left to spare. Respiration becomes shallow. The diaphragm muscles are weakening from dehydration. The gorilla lies on sand at 60 degrees Celsius surface temperature. Direct contact with the sand accelerates heat gain. The gorilla is being cooked from below and burned from above simultaneously. Core temperature, 39.8 degrees. 0.2 degrees from heat stroke. The kidneys are shutting down. Kidneys require water to filter blood. At 8% dehydration, kidney function drops to 40% capacity. Toxins are accumulating in the bloodstream. Urea, creatinine. Waste products that should be expelled are building up. The blood is becoming poisonous. The gorilla is experiencing uremic poisoning, kidney failure caused by dehydration. By noon, day 3, the gorilla's body is in multi-system failure. Kidneys, 30% function. Heart, 110 beats per minute, irregular rhythm. Brain, cognitive function at 50%. Muscles, severe atrophy from protein breakdown. Core temperature, 40.1 degrees Celsius. Heat stroke. At 40 degrees, the proteins in the body begin to denature. Proteins are the machinery of life. Enzymes, antibodies, structural proteins in muscles and organs. At 40 degrees, these proteins start to unfold. Their three-dimensional structure collapses. Once denatured, proteins cannot refold. The damage is permanent. The gorilla's cells are being destroyed at the molecular level. This is not something the body can recover from. Even if water were provided now, the damage is irreversible. Day 4, 6 a.m. Temperature, 50 degrees Celsius. The gorilla is unconscious. Core temperature, 40.8 degrees Celsius. Total dehydration, 12 liters, 10% of body water. Severe dehydration threshold crossed 24 hours ago. The heart is failing. At 10% dehydration, blood volume drops by 20%. The heart is pumping air through vessels that have collapsed from lack of fluid. Heart rate, 140 beats per minute. Blood pressure, critical low. Oxygen delivery to the brain, 40% of normal. The brain is suffocating. 12 p.m., day 4. Core temperature, 41.2 degrees Celsius. The heart stops. Cardiac arrest caused by severe dehydration, electrolyte imbalance, and heat stroke. Blood stops circulating. Brain death within 4 minutes. A mountain gorilla, a species that shares 98% of its DNA with humans, an animal capable of tool use, complex social bonds, and self-awareness. Dead in 4 days, not from predators, not from disease, from the absence of water. After analyzing primate thermoregulation, dehydration physiology, the evolutionary absence of water-seeking behavior, and the thermal properties of dense fur in extreme heat, the verdict is absolute. Can a mountain gorilla survive the Sahara Desert? No. 4 days is the maximum. The thick fur designed for cold mountains traps lethal heat in the desert. The herbivorous diet that provides all water in the mountains provides nothing in the Sahara. The lack of water-seeking instinct means the gorilla cannot find the hidden oases that desert animals know to seek. The massive body that generates warmth in the mountains generates fatal heat in the sun. Evolution builds specialists, not generalists. The mountain gorilla is the perfect answer to one question: How do you survive cold, wet, high-altitude forests? The Sahara asks a completely different question, and biology does not translate. The gorilla in the desert, the elephant on ice, the penguin in heat, the orca in fresh water. Every simulation confirms the same law. Adaptation is survival in one place, and death everywhere else. The most specialized animal is also the most fragile when its world changes. Which animal should face an impossible habitat next? Write in the comments the animal, the impossible habitat, and why you think it would survive or die. The most upvoted comment becomes the next episode. Subscribe. The next extreme simulation is coming. This is Habitat X, where geography is just a suggestion and biology is our testing ground.